Right, 17 March 2024, and today I've got a number of updates. So normally I try to give you 20 stories on a Sunday, and in fact I try to give you 20 stories every day. And this I usually achieve by going through a lot of platforms, looking for stories that are relevant and making Gambakwe Media the most relevant media platform in Zimbabwe at present. And I want us to continue. This is a very useful platform for us to discuss and to change our country. And I know that we're going to do very, very well. And I've got the ability to go through the necessary steps to take us where we're going. So thank you very much, everyone. Let's run quickly down through all the stories that are there today. I haven't had a chance to look at the newspapers. I've been sitting here doing a lot. I'm currently going to be traveling, so I'm making plans for me to go where I am going. So it's taking a lot of my time. But I appreciate all of you joining here and those who wait for me to start my broadcast. So firstly, I would like to start with the story that is saying Job Sikhala has left Zimbabwe for treatment. So I do not know which country Job Sikhala has gone to, but has gone overseas. And this story is in the Standard newspaper. So Job Sikhala was in jail for 595 days, and he's been very unwell, both psychologically and also physically. So he's gone for treatment. There's also fears that Job Sikhala might have been poisoned in prison. So he has left the country. I've tried to check with my sources in different countries. So I initially thought that he had gone to Australia. So I've checked with my brothers in Australia, and he's not that side. And I've now checked with the guys in the UK, and I'm sure that Job Sikhala is going to tell us which country he's gone to. I've also written Job Sikhala a message this morning, and he has not responded to me. So I'm not sure if he's still on the flight or if he's just arriving, but he has left the country according to the Standard newspaper. That is what they are reporting. Then let's go straight to Nelson Chamisa's tweet. Chamisa has been quiet, but he's tweeted, and I want us to look at the tweet that he put out. Then I'll go into the news. I always start with Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa, very important to Zimbabwe's politics. So here he says, the tasks God demands of us: wash and cleanse yourself, receive Jesus Christ, remove your evil deeds from God's sight, stop doing evil, learn to do right, seek justice, correct the oppressor. Correct the oppressor. You heard that? Correct the oppressor. Defend the orphans and fatherless. Feed the case of the widow. Plead the case of the widow. You come now, let us reason together, please, says the Lord. Isaiah 1:16-18. That is blessed Sabbath for Nelson Chamisa. Always very interesting tweets from Chamisa. And what is happening in the CCC, so that I can give you an update in the Blue Movement. The guys have got a roadmap, and they are in the process of launching. So yesterday they were in Tumbane and in Jube. Gift Ostalo Siziba and my brother Dubekos Banda were over there. So I'll show you quickly a clip of what happened there. Then I'll take you through the story.
This is Dinamo 2023. And
right, so Dubeko has been leading the launch of the Blue Movement. He's doing very, very well. He's very busy. Every weekend, he's out there trying to launch and campaign for Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa is doing very, very well. Mnangagwa stands no chance, not even a single chance of beating Nelson Chamisa in any election, any free and fair election. Mnangagwa is going to lose and go back to Masvingo and start drinking beer at the growth points. That is where Mnangagwa is going if there is a free and fair election in Zimbabwe. Let's go to other news. Chigumba is in Russia. She's over there with some people from the ZEC She's been showing off. I know Jigumba watches me, so she's been showing off over there in Russia, and there's an election. So these are the people she's with. So I want you to take specific attention of the posture. So these pictures here, the people that are in the picture. So these are the guys taking pictures here in Russia. They're staying in some remote area. They don't want to show where they're staying, but they're over there, Chigumba and all the guys at ZEC. I think they're observing or learning from Russia, but obviously ZEC will have to be disbanded as part of the reforms that we were going to. There is no way that the ZEC of Jugumba has got any credibility. She is compromised and she can't do anything. In the next election that is coming, she won't be there. It's probably her last time to Russia right now. Now let's go to other stories quickly. Adelaide Chikunguru. Before I go to Adelaide, let me go to Sheffra Dzamara. Sheffra Dzamara has been commemorating the disappearance of her husband, Itai Dzamara. It's been 9 years. He disappeared on, I think, 14 or 15 April 2015. That's when he disappeared. So let's get that correct. 9 March 2015. That's when Itai Dzamara disappeared. She is still looking for her husband. And also, what has made things worse is that the children are now big. They're asking. The 16-year-old Dzamara's son is now 16. He's asking, where is my father? And yes, you know, the Zimbabwe government of Mnangagwa was ordered by the court to find Dzamara and to report every 2 weeks. So there is a judgment, a court judgment, that says Mnangagwa must report every 2 weeks. And this was issued by Justice Mangota, which says Mnangagwa must report every 2 weeks to say what have they done about finding Itai Dzamara. The Zimbabwe government has never done that, and this is a very, very big story. Itai Dzamara is still missing, and this is due to the ZANU-PF government that took him and made him disappear. So Sheffra Dzamara has been talking about it, and that story is out there in the I think you'll find it in the Newsday newspaper. If I'm not mistaken, it's also in the Standard newspaper. Then let's look at accidents. There's been 3 major accidents this weekend. The first accident, a drunk driver, John Dumbura, knocked down and killed 3 children at Christmas Pass. The two children are from one family, Silvian Maponde and Strive Maponde, 13 years and 9-year-old, I think from Little St. Augustine, and also Blessing Chasarira. Then another child was knocked down. The 4th one survived and went to hospital. He's in hospital right now as you speak. So 3 children died. They were knocked down by that driver, a drunk driver. So John Dumbura was drunk at the Christmas pass and killed those 3 children. Then we had the bus which had an accident this weekend, a very massive accident that happened. And that was on the Bedbridge Road, which killed 30 people. And this accident is extremely painful to watch because it was caused by another motorist. And this motorist is rumored to have been a state agent. So I want to show you pictures of the accident that happened. This is very bad, this accident that happened here. You can see that it was a head-on collision between city bus and another bus. And it was total chaos here. This is a very, very bad accident that happened, and 30 people died here. Very bad accidents that are happening. And then one thing I can suggest for you, if you're in Zimbabwe, don't travel at night. The Bedbridge Road is so bad. When you're driving, dust comes up and it engulfs you. You can't see. So look at what is happening here. And I've been telling you guys that some people are going to die. Mnangagwa, what he did, he removed the road that was there. And then he's failing to cover that road. So when you're driving, dust engulfs you and your car is bumping for more than 100 kilometers. And then drivers are trying to avoid humps. So if you look at where the accident happened, if you look on the ground, you see that there's a big lump of soil. They're trying to avoid this ground that is raised, and they then end up colliding. We had to park because our car almost lost the engine. We bought a new car in South Africa and it almost lost the engine on this road because of the bumps when we're moving. So this accident is caused by the failure to maintain that road by ED. It's not doing a good job on the roads. They keep talking about, so they started a project, but they never finished. The dams are not finished. The roads are not finished. Everything that ED has been starting is not finished. And this is why all these people are dying on this road. Similar to the Blower Road, if you drive there at night, you're going to die. In December, 20 people died there. So since December, 50 people have died. And this is because of the poor state of the road. Mnangagwa says he's going to finish this road by September. Can you imagine how long this has been going on? So this is why people are dying on this road. You must understand the context. So don't travel at night on that road, because even during the day, you can't see. The dust is so much during the day there. Then I want to go to the third accident. Two motorcyclists collided, unlicensed motorcyclists collided this week in Mashonaland. So when you see a motorcyclist, they're most likely unlicensed. Avoid traveling next to them. And also, if you're a motorcyclist, you must understand that you need to have a driver's license. Then let's look at ZIMSEC. ZIMSEC has issued the exchange rate. So you know that all the courts have ruled that ZIMSEC and polytechnics and universities cannot charge in US dollars. So the exchange rate is 17,500. This is how far the Zimbabwe dollar has collapsed. So you see that when they put the exchange rate 17.5, the street value is already at 35,000. So within the next few weeks, the exchange rate is going to be at 35,000, and life is going to get even more difficult, especially for the civil servants who earn the money in Zimbabwe dollars. Currently, according to my brother Dubeko Spanda, a soldier is earning $100, a teacher similar, and this money is reducing every month. Suffering is continuing in Zimbabwe because of ED's failed policies. So this is what is happening in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa is making people suffer. His policies are crazy. What I can say in Shona is Mnangagwa let me speak in Shona. Mnangagwa is making people suffer because his policies are not good. He is not changing the currency, because you know what we need in Zimbabwe is to have a currency that works. So US dollars. You get rid of the this ZWL and go to the US dollar. Make money available in the ATM, so that people don't sell money on the street. But they can't do that because they're the ones. So the guys at the RBZ and now ED, they are the people who are in the black market. If they put money on the ATM, then there will be no black market. That is the problem. That is why you see with Mnangagwa, they have never been able to put money in the ATM. Because the moment you put money in the ATM, black market dies. And this is how they make the money. We say Mchangwa and ED, the young guy who is in the Ministry of Finance now, young Mnangagwa, David, they are all involved in this thing. Reserve Bank officials, they're involved in this black market. And the black market is what is destroying the Zimbabwean economy. And they will never put money in the ATM. The day you see money in the ATM, then you know that the black market is stopped. But they won't do it because they're part of the black market. Then I said I will mention Adelaide Chikunguru. Adelaide Chikunguru has moved on. She is now starting a new career. So she'll be on Tedx Borrowdale on the 4th. I think on the 4th of April, if I'm not mistaken. You can go check on LinkedIn. Adelaide left the ZBC because she says Jennifer Muswere was abusing her, looking for her to become a small house. I think Jennifer is married, but he wanted her to date him. He's the minister and she was the CEO. And she's saying the only reason why she was victimized and thrown out of the ZBC is because Jennifer, the minister, was trying to ask her for favors in Nyanga when they had a retreat. And then she's now moving on. She's actually now saying she's a speaker, a business analyst, and so forth. So you can go and look at the LinkedIn. She's very active there. And I've tried to get hold of her. Unfortunately, most people are afraid to talk to me, especially Vaname Mawovet. You know that Adelaide Chikunguru was born in Mozambique. She is a daughter of a war veteran. And that is why you see she can speak a bit more freely. because she's actually a daughter of a war veteran. So if you look at the people who are in ZANU-PF, you can easily kill their children. Yeah, and you see they are a bit brave when they're speaking. That is the case here with Adelaide. Unfortunately, she had to lose such a good job. She will never get such a position again. And I think she's also left the South Africa Association of Broadcasters, which was a board member. I don't think she can be there because I see she's removed herself from there. She's now on a LinkedIn. She's no longer showing as a member or a board member there. Now let's go to another story. Bushiri is doing very well in his court case. He is destroying the South Africans in the Malawian court. He claims that they were demanding 10 million bribe for him, and the people who are from the National Director of Public Prosecution in South Africa are actually helping Bushiri's case. And the South Africans, they don't know how to deal with him. He's probably going to win this case, and they will have to pay back everything that they took from Bushiri. So watch that case very, very closely, and it's available on malawi24.com. Then in business, Africa business, Barclays Bank is coming back into South Africa. You know that Barclays Bank left, they sold their shares in Absa, and now they're coming back with a wealth management solution. So they've opened a wealth management solution in South Africa, and I think there are also Zimbabwean banks that have opened a wealth office here in South Africa. I think, if I'm not mistaken, CBZ probably opened a wealth office here, and Bank ABC, I think they've got a wealth office here. Wealth offices, they account for almost 50% of a bank's profit. So not retail banking. Retail banking is for liquidity, but wealth office for Barclays, they account for almost 50% of the revenue and profits. And Standard Bank, because the South African economy is collapsing, have gone into Africa, and they're making almost all their money from out in Africa and not in South Africa. Similarly, the bank called FNB has closed the bank accounts of Jacob Zuma. You see that the robot has read that story this morning. Jacob Zuma is becoming a big player in the coming elections. The ANC is likely to lose massive votes, and it's going to be a massive change in the political landscape in South Africa. The problem is there is a very big danger of violence taking place here in South Africa, because if you play with Zuma and his supporters, the last time that happened, 463 people died. So we must look very carefully at what is going to be happening here in South Africa within the next few months. The elections are on 29 May. So let's watch those elections. The South African elections and the elections in Botswana, they look like they're going to become a very big problem. And it all involves the former presidents, Ian Khama in Botswana and Jacob Zuma here in South Africa. Jacob Zuma wants to be president again. So let's see how that is going to work out. And then my last story is to do with sport, and this is to do with what happened here. These are the Dynamos guys. Dynamos is now playing in Highlanders in Blawayo. They're using the Papaflu Stadium as their home ground. So Dynamos was leading 2-0 to Wange, and they managed to lose all that, and it ended up 2-2 after one of their players scored an own goal. And this guy is called Donald Jr. So very sad situation for Dynamo supporters. The league and the matches that we played this weekend are looking like this. So these are the matches that we played this week. Simba Bora, Greenfield 1-1, Ngezi Platinum 0-2, Tel 1-3-1 to Manika, and Chicken Inn 0-0, Hendra 0-2, and Dynamos 2-2. So these are the matches that we played, and today Highlanders is playing. I'm sure they're playing. You can check out the schedules. But I'll be giving you the league. So every week on Sunday, I'll give you the league, or on Monday, I'll find it. I know that many of you are interested in seeing what's happening here. And Dynamos is started very badly. They have not won their first two matches. So now let's recap. Before I go, before I recap, I've got an important story. My brother here, this is Nkululeko Dube, right? This guy, he is my former schoolmate. He is responsible for almost most of the musicians that you know. For example, Sandra Ndebele, she was here in IASA. And the story is, he is doing very, very well. And he's featured today in the Herald newspaper. You can go and check it out. I went to school with some of the most accomplished artists in Zimbabwe. He was just 1 year ahead of me. And his father, Mutare was my headmaster. Mutare he used to like me a lot. And he is the first headmaster that made me a prefect. Not just a prefect. I was one of the top prefects, the prefects for the A levels. Like, I used to have a room. At Zimbabwe High School, there are no rooms. I used to have a room. I used to share, I think it was with Masoli Chirwa and the other guy, Nyoni. I can't remember, but the three of us had a room with our own separate bathroom and tubs. And that was because of Mutare I think I was at Ngema. And before that, they had put me as a prefect at Limpopo for the juniors. So my leadership was probably identified by Mutare back in 1993 when I was at Zimbabwe High School. And Gulego started his performances when we were at school. And out of our school, in Zimbabwe High School, during our time, a lot of people have come out, including people that have gone on into media, business. I think Zimbabwe High School has done very, very well compared to other places. For example, if you look at Babongile Dube, Babongile Skonja, I'm so sorry about that. Babongile Skonja has done very, very well at Sky's Metro. He was just 1 year ahead of me at school. And most of the guys who at Zimbabwe High School will know that it was it was almost a military environment. In fact, most of my friends went into the military after that. So it was an exciting environment, but we learned a lot to take care of ourselves. And Gulego is doing very well. He's been in the media, in the arts industry for so long. And I think it's exciting and interesting to see him being honored here in the local press. I think he's not even left Zimbabwe. He travels a lot internationally. And most of you won't know about these guys. Because when you see Sandra Ndebele, you think she just popped up. She was the dancer for this guy back in the days when they were at Zilegazi High School, because he eventually went to become a teacher over there. And as I said, I was going to read you the story of Robin Vela. And unfortunately, his newspaper is down, his website. He said he was going to put up a website. So my robot can't read if you don't put up your website. So if you know Robin Vela, tell him to put up the website so that my robot can read. Or he can call me and then we can read the story. Because his story is full, it's long, but my robot can't read it on paper. So tell Robin Vela to WhatsApp me there and send me the text so that we can give it to my robot to read. He's got a long story about what has happened with BDO. BDO, he's saying, is a very corrupt company, an ethical audit firm, which is doing some things with FML and lying a lot. That's what he said. Then I want to end with the Americans. Then I'll recap with Job Sikhala. The Americans have been in Zimbabwe for the past week. So let's recap what the Americans have done.
I have been in Harare for the last 5 days, and it's been an amazing opportunity. I've learned just how educated the population is, just how many business opportunities there are, from telecommunications to real estate to technology to mining.
What I see is a lot of investment opportunities in international trade, bilateral trade, import, export, education, making sure that the people in Zimbabwe understand the regulations to get their goods into the U.S. market, and then also do the same into Zimbabwe so we can export into Zimbabwe as well.
Open to do business with American business people.
Right, so this is what has happened. The Americans came to Zimbabwe, spent a week, and Neva Ngube that you saw there is the CEO of Mutare. So in a normal environment, we'll be able to know these things when they happen. But this is only known now after they've left. And Ms. Chakwinda Tisley is probably going to be coming to run something in Zimbabwe. The whole telecommunications sector is collapsing. And with the coming of Starlink, they're even going to collapse even more because they have not innovated. So there's a lot of investment opportunities in Zimbabwe, but ZIDA is nowhere to be found. And the problems in Zimbabwe are also because ZIDA is sitting back and letting all the investors go to Mnangagwa's office or to go to other people that are not related. So this is crazy, what is happening in Zimbabwe. If the Americans were here, by now we should be having businesses and contracts that were signed. But nothing right now, it's just talk. And they said it. They say that this must be operationalized. It's not yet operationalized. So thank you very much, everyone. Let's look at the comments and wrap up. I'm so sorry today I had to do this very quickly. I wonder what Chikunguru is doing in Russia. She's looking at the elections, the Russian elections currently taking place, which the results are already known. Putin is going to win. So that is it. And then Mkoma Jonathan is saying, Gambako, you're the best so far. Thank you very much, Mkoma Jonathan. I don't see Mkoma MS here. I always look for Mkoma MS comments because he's the first person. And Mkoma 101, ED is looking good. You're saying ED is looking good. No, I don't believe so. ED, I'll tell you a few stories about ED sometime. Very soon. I told you I'll tell you what ED and Scott have done. When you hear that story, that day Scott is going to be arrested. When I tell you that story of what Scott has done and ED. And then SAD is preparing to hand over the chairmanship to ED. I don't think so. Zimbabwe is not next in line. Next in line is Sessless. And Mukoma Chimurenga say, Gambako uri bias, ngoda shamu, ine munyu. Mukoma Chimurenga, I'm the last person that is going to get a beating from anyone. You can believe it. Apana shamu kunoku. I can assure you that I know exactly what is going to happen and nothing is going to happen to me. So anyway, so let's now go to the recap. Job Sikhala has left Zimbabwe and he's left for treatment. He was not feeling well in his body and also mentally. From my understanding, they had to sort out a lot of things there. I hope that when he comes back, he will still be speaking like Mandela. But I've written him here WhatsApp to ask Kuti what's happening. I've asked my brothers in Australia to say what's happening, and he's not there. So I think probably they're saying probably he's in the UK. So let's see where is Job Sikhala. He is left. He's not in Zimbabwe, according to the Newsday newspaper, to the Standard newspaper. It's saying that he's not there. So check out that newspaper. They are also leading with the story of the war vets. I've dealt with the stories of the war vets. So today I'm not going to deal with the story of the war vet. And I've also played for you a number of videos. So if you were late, you can go and rewatch everything that we've said here. But Sunday, a very good news day. A lot of stories. But now we're going to be looking at what Chamisa is doing. I think the military stories were done. Let's go back to Chamisa slowly and see what is the plan. We need to move forward now, guys. And I was talking to Chamisa's guys yesterday saying, okay, we have heard it. You have gone all over the country. Now let's move. ED is not good for the country. ED no one is making money under ED. Things is collapsing everywhere. And you see, people like me are not politicians. So we look to the politicians to act. So I can come here every day and talk. But I will never seek political office. You'll never see me looking for a political office. I'll be doing media. I said this to Kudamsa Siwa in Esulumumba when they came here 10 years ago. Vamwe ngavaite media, vamwe voita zvemari, vamwe voita zvepolitics. Then we're strong together. Not that everyone wants to do everything. So Chamisa, we are looking forward to his launch. We're looking forward to what he's going to bring us. And that is why it's very important for everyone to do what they're supposed to do. So what I always call the moment of truth. So the moment of truth is when a leader emerges. You can't be a leader in the shadows. So anatenda ibiti, they're in the shadows. Professor Ngube is in the shadows. We don't want Chamisa to be in the shadows. And I've said this. I talked to Ngube a few weeks back. And I'm asking them, what are you guys doing? I go to Sikhala now, we're asking, what are you doing? Sikhala is already going out of the country without saying anything on Twitter. But he was saying other people are not transparent. The same thing, BT just came and says the vice president of CCC, and now he's quiet. Promise Mpananzi, he only tweets about things that are happening, but no plans. So we need our politicians to stand up and rise and show us what we need to do. Give us some direction. Give us a proper plan of what is going to happen. I talk to Dubeko on almost a daily basis, and I press him. Dubeko, what is your plan? What are you guys planning to do? And I do that all the time. Don't think that when I sit here, I do not ask these guys. Similar, you must press Mnangagwa. What is it doing? When is the new currency coming? When is this economy going to be sorted? when are these roads that are killing people going to be sorted? So press our politicians and we'll get there. That is what I always say. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And on Sundays, usually I'll be a bit late. Our broadcast starts around 7. That's where I'm hoping that we start there, because I need proper time to look at all the news that will be happening throughout the week. And normally it takes me about 3 to 4 hours in my office just to produce one of these bulletins. That's why you see that if you want to get all the comprehensive news happening in Zimbabwe, you come to Gambakwe. And this is now the most watched bulletin in the country. Every single day, we've got 50,000 views. That is 50,000 people being addressed here at Gambakwe. It's like us addressing at the National Sports Stadium. So, Chamisa, take advantage of the platform that we have. All the guys in the opposition politicals, be strong and let's push this thing forward. People are looking for change, and they're looking forward to Chamisa, especially, to provide leadership at this very, very difficult time. So, thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and a good day to you all.